Isaac was part of that group. The one that passed away, he was part of that other group. And they were flagging us down, telling us, please help us, this guy's a pedophile, he won't leave us alone. And at first I thought they were joking. He's like, no, really, please, help us, help us. He's being very creepy. But that group of kids, I was worried that they were all going to gang up on him and something bad was going to happen to the 52-year-old guy. I was worried something was going to happen to him. We just wanted to shoo the guy away. I figured he'd go away if he saw people intervening. Next thing I know, as everyone's running at me, he stabbed me, you know. And I saw the guy get punched and fall down. And
who's the guy?
No, that's okay. The suspect. Okay. I saw him flailing wildly, but I didn't realize he was stabbing everyone. And next thing I know, I'm dying. I can't breathe. You gotta, you know. And I tried to get her in a tube so we could float her down and get her off. And it was just utter chaos from that point.
Based on what witnesses are saying, Nikolai was inappropriately approaching a group of minors in the lake, was noticed by another group doing these things, and was confronted by the teens, causing him to stab anyone who tried attacking him. But this is only coming from the side of the victim's friends. Nikolai's friends and family, on the other hand, would seem to have a completely different recollection of what went down.
Who'd you come with personally?
Just me and my husband drove here, and we met all of them over here.
Okay. At any point in time, did any member of your group ever leave your group?
Just my husband. Ariel lost his phone.
Okay.
So he was trying to find it, and he had it in one of those floaty things, but he thought maybe water got in it, so he brought scuba stuff with, and he put that on, and he was down in the water looking for it.
Did you see him the whole time he was off his tube?
Yes, I did.
Okay. What was he doing while he was off his tube?
He was looking.
Yeah.
And then this group of guys, I don't know how many was on these tubes, saw all of them get off their tubes, and they started hitting him.
Okay. All right. And what happened after that?
I yelled, and then I just heard screaming. And Nick and these guys all came back. They were on the other side, and we were on this side of the river.
Yep.
All I heard is somebody got hurt, but I don't know how. I don't know anything about that. I just heard someone was hurt.
Does Nick known to carry? Does he ever carry a weapon with him?
He had a knife in his pocket, not a very big one, and he said those guys grabbed it from him.
The people he was fighting with?
Yep. They grabbed it, and he said they swung it at him, and he grabbed their hand and moved it away.
Okay.
And that's when they went. I didn't see it. That's what he told me.
Okay. And then they went to...
All they kept saying is they called me a... Then they started hitting me, and he said all I did was try and look for this phone.
All right. Okay. Well, yeah, there was a few people hurt. Well, we got some stuff to work out. Okay. Obviously, you with the group, being Nick's wife and everybody else, you guys aren't going to be able to leave for a little bit, okay, until we get the okay. Okay. Because it was more than just some injuries. It was a pretty serious event that happened. Otherwise, you wouldn't see people showing up in tactical green, right?
Right.
Okay.
Nikolai's friends and wife claim he was spontaneously attacked and that Nick's knife was grabbed by the teens and that he was even threatened with the knife. The phone recording shows Nikolai was ganged up 6-1 when initially confronted, turning to 13 people against one shortly after, helping to authenticate those claims. This complicated things for detectives. The side against Nick claims he's a pedophile and went on a rampage after being called out. The side with Nick claims he was attacked by the teens and didn't see him doing anything predatorial. It's clear based off the phone recording that Nick did indeed commit the stabbings. However, his reasoning is uncertain. If the detectives determine the teens unnecessarily attacked Nick, then he could plead self-defense and most likely win. But if detectives can determine Nick acted erratically after being exposed for approaching a group of minors, then self-defense is less plausible and he'd be facing murder charges. In order to solve this mystery, detectives decide to conduct interviews with every prominent witness that was at the scene the day of the stabbings. However, as the case would unfold, detectives would unravel disturbing secrets from both parties, leading to one of the most twisted conclusions in the history of policing. Police began by talking to Ashley, who was on the scene during the stabbings.
So yeah, I'm just kind of trying to follow up on the craziness that happened out there. How are you doing?
Pretty good.
So you were out there with a group of friends for the day?
Yes, and we were just going down the river, and then we saw this older man harassing these teenage boys. So Maddie said, "Hey, get away, get out of their faces, just move along." And all of a sudden he punched her in the face. She went down, and we were slowly walking up there, and then said, "Dad, I just got stabbed. He has a knife, he just stabbed me." And then that's when I turned and looked at guts were all over. He was holding on to them, and then that's when he was like, "Go call 911." And I was trying to get back, just started calling everyone and whatnot, telling everyone to get out of the river and everything like that. Everything just happened so fast.
Yeah. So he was harassing them, and then you said he was messing with their tubes?
Yeah, he was trying to like pull apart their tubes.
And that was the first contact you had with that other group?
Yes.
So then, you asked that other group if they need help, and they said that, he was harassing them, messing with their tubes, and then what happened next?
That's when Maddie went up to the group. Maddie went up to the old guy, said, "Hey, get out of here, stop messing with these boys. They're only teenagers." Like, I don't know what started him off to wanting to punch her in the face, but that's when he punched her in the face. She slipped, fell in the water. That's when everybody surrounded him saying, "Don't hit a woman, just get out of here," and everything like that. That's when I'm slowly walking towards Maddie to see if she was okay.
Okay.
And everything like that.
Ashley's story doesn't quite line up with the other witnesses' claims, or the speculation that Nikolai was doing anything that could classify him as a pedophile. She claims he was harassing a group of male teens, and when Maddie approached him to stop, she was punched in the face. This is what caused the group to confront and push Nikolai, not because of the predatorial theories. Regardless, punching Maddie for what seems like no reason at all is not only assault of a minor, but degrading to any defense Nikolai could make in trial. Next, detectives speak to Emma, who shared the gruesome and horrifying details of watching the stabbings happen in real time.
Paul, if you want, you can just take me that day and tell me everything.
Yeah, it was a day I'll never ever forget, honestly. And so we had our music playing, and we hear arguing. So, we're not paying attention to it because we didn't come there for that. And so we turn around, and that's when my brother, Larry, he was like, Sis, you seeing this? And I'm like, seeing what? So then that's when we all get off of the raft. And so we stop it because the current was pulling us. So then that's when I see a guy just stab some poor boy in the stomach and go straight down. And then that's when I saw him trying to put his intestines back in his stomach. He was trying to, still processing what was happening. Everybody was screaming around. The people who were trying to grab the knife from the man, it was like a lady and 3 other maybe teens. She was stabbed and she floated down the river. That's when she floated to us, and we put her on our raft and we're holding her insides in because she was still just bleeding out and crying. And so then that's when I got my phone out the plastic bag and called the police, and it's like, dang, how are we going to stop this? But then the other people rushed to go help him, the guy who had his intestines out, and another person was trying to grab the knife from the guy, but still 2 other people got stabbed after that. Well, as we got to the grassed area and we were helping the girl, we were keeping her calm. I was on the phone with the police at that time, trying to give them the location of where we were on the river. The owner of Apple River and his the workers, the people who worked at the river, they were coming down and trying to climb down from the area and asking us what was happening. And we told them what we saw and the weapon that we saw there too. And he vanished fairly quickly, or I don't think he was running, but with all the commotion, we were more concerned about all the blood in the water, intestines floating, and other people who were severely bleeding. And so at that point, it was really just, let's help the people who were hurt instead of going to chase after the guy.
So at what point did you see the knife? Was there already chaos and people that were injured?
I saw the knife. Well, yeah, I saw the knife once it was put into the male's body. He went in and went down, and then that's when the intestines fell out. He pulled the knife out. I saw people trying to swing and grab the knife or stop him, and that's when he just went and stabbed everybody who came at him. He was just poking people. And
so the first male that you saw injured was the one with the stomach injury?
Yes. Yep, he did walk up first, and he must have saw the knife first, because he did walk up a little hostile, but I understand if he did see a knife and you're coming at a group of teenagers, I do understand that.
Did you see the other people wounded? I mean, did you see the physical action that the older male did to wound the other people?
3 of them. I
Additional
think
stabbing.
it was 3 of them. 3 of them I did see. Those were all the people who tried to stop, put his hands out, don't do this. And he just stabbed everybody who was in his way.
Can you describe when the other people were stabbed a little bit more? Do you have any more detailed data on that?
First, I did see the other guy swing. So the one who was not as injured, he did like sort of swing at him, but that is when he missed. He didn't hit him, and the guy did come around and then same for the girl. She like came up and like tried to push him, but wasn't successful. Didn't have enough reach, and he went right for her side, right, or on one of these sides, on the side right here, and stabbed her in the stomach. And she was trying to walk away, and then she just dropped in the water, and he had her too.
Based on both Ashley and Emma's story, Nikolai is painted as a cold-blooded killer who went on a rampage after being confronted and stabbed anyone he could reach. But it seems Emma might have a bias in her retelling of events. She recounts any attacks on Nikolai in an almost defeated way, as if she's ashamed to admit the story was rather double-edged at times. The teens were, without a doubt, wrong to some degree. It was unnecessary to gang up on Nikolai so heavily and attack him helplessly while he fell to the ground. But was this enough reason to stab 5 people in self-defense? The detectives will need to find more evidence to accurately figure this out. So with this in mind, detectives take a different approach and